St. David's College, Honorable Dr. Father Pradeep Kuju, Vice Principal, St. David's College, Honorable Dr. Father Ajay Minj, Vice Principal, St. David's College, Honorable Dr. Father Prabhat Kennedy, Registrar, St. David's College, Honorable Father Roshan Ba, Bursar, St. David's College, Professor Dr. Marcus Barla, Dean, Students' Welfare, Professor Animesh Roy, Head of the Department of Geography, Professor B.K. Sinha, Head of the Department of Political Science and Controller of Exams, Professor Ivana Chakravarti, Head of the Department of Sociology, Professor Sanjay Sinha, Professor in Charge, History, and Dr. Harishwar Dayal, Department of Economics, and all the esteemed professors, non-teaching staff, guardians and parents of the students, and my dear students. On behalf of the general body and the governing body of St. David's College, I extend to you a very, very hearty welcome. Most hearty welcome to you all. In fact, we feel privileged that you have been able to make it to come and study here. And some of you might have also studied in our institutions by the name of St. James, or you might have heard about it. This august institution is run by us Jesuits, and it's pertinent that we know something more about Jesuits, especially about our founder, and how education became a revolution under the Society of Jesus in the whole world. Saint Ignatius of Loyola was born in 1491, just 1 year before Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. He was a Spaniard and was born in a noble family. He had ambitions to become a military commander, because this is how his family had been serving the Emperor of Spain. And like any youth, he had dreams of a wonderful career, marrying his sweetheart, and thereafter having a career as commander of the army and win name and fame. And therefore, in order to prove his valor, he led the Spanish army against the French in the Battle of Pamplona in 1521 to capture the city of Navarre. But unfortunately, he was hit by a cannonball and his legs were badly shattered. He lost the battle, but he was taken to a hospital for treatment. And Ignatius wanted by all means to recover his former health of physique so that he could be a handsome man. Therefore, he asked the physicians to cut his leg open and reset it because it had not set properly. And those days, there was no anesthesia. So he had to bear the crucial pain. And yet, he had the operation. But once again, the wound didn't reset his fractured leg, and he remained for the rest of his life limping. No matter, but during this time of treatment, when he was convalescing, he had the opportunity to read the life of saints. When we are in the hospital, we want to read so that we could pass our time usefully. This is what St. Ignatius did. He read the lives of saints and he was tremendously inspired. He read the life of Saint Francis of Assisi, the life of Saint Dominic, and many others. And he felt that if these people could do great things, why could he not? He also read the life of Christ and especially the imitation of Christ. And he was totally convinced that he ought to be also doing great things as these saints had done. Therefore, he gave up his dream of becoming a military commander. He abdicated his inheritance rights, and thereafter he went to Our Lady of Montserrat, where he offered his sword to Our Lady, promising that never he would engage in any war. Thereafter he came to a cave called Manresa, where he did prayer and penance for 1 whole year. And that was the changing time in the life of St. Ignatius. From worldly life, he turned into something very spiritual and religious. And during this time, he got many illuminations. He got many insights, spiritual insights. And he wrote them down in his diary. And today we have it with us, and we call it the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius, which give us the basic foundation to our life as Jesuits. Thereafter, he wanted to live and work in the Holy Land where Jesus Christ had lived. So he went to the Holy Land, but he wasn't allowed to stay there longer. So he returned to Europe, and because he wanted to become a priest, he had to study, for which he went to the University of Paris. And it was there he met Francis Xavier, who was also a Spaniard. Francis Xavier was a brilliant student. He was excellent in education. He was excellent in dramatics. He was excellent in singing and dancing and any extra-curricular activities we can think of. Ignatius befriended Francis Xavier, and he shared with him all his spiritual insights. And Francis Xavier was so influenced, so impressed with the friendship of Ignatius that he also was totally convinced whatever St. Ignatius had told him. There were 7 others studying in the University of Paris who became friends of St. Ignatius. And they were all totally convinced whatever spiritual experiences he had. And now they decided that they should all become priests. They were ordained priests, and they submitted themselves to the Pope. And they established the Society of Jesus, the religious order named as Society of Jesus, in 1540 rather, approved by Pope Julius III. Now, many young men joined the Society of Jesus and they became priests, and they were highly qualified. And there was a big demand of Jesuits in the whole of Europe. And St. Ignatius sent Jesuits to different kingdoms. And we know that Jesuits were called as schoolmasters of Europe. So are they called today schoolmasters of the whole world, and India, in India too. This has been the legacy of Jesuits. And St. Ignatius sent Francis Xavier to India, and he came in 1542 to Goa, and there he learned Konkani and started teaching and preaching, and especially starting schools. 2-3 years later, he came to Kerala, and there he learned Malayalam. And there also he started schools. And thereafter he went to Tamil Nadu, learned Tamil, and again started schools. Imagine a genius of a person learning Konkani, learning Malayalam, learning Tamil. He went to Japan also and learned Japanese and same, started schools and so on. He wanted to go to China, but his health had broken down because of his trouble and ill health, and he died in the land of Sanxian in 1554. He was canonized soon thereafter with other saints. Now, this has been the beginning of the Society of Jesus, and especially a revolution, to say, in the field of education. Why was it so? Because Saint Ignatius had experienced inner transformation in himself. So much so that he felt, let this transformation be also of others in every way, intellectually, psychologically, spiritually, morally, total transformation. And this is what he decided to impart in education wherever schools and colleges were started. Now, in the court of Emperor Akbar, there were Jesuits, because Emperor Akbar had heard of Jesuits, and he invited them to teach Portuguese to the children of his noblemen, so that they could have international exposure. That's the kind of history we have. Now, a few more things we ought to know regarding the spread of Jesuit education. In Goa, the colleges were started in 1759. St. Xavier's Mumbai was started in 1869. St. Xavier's Kolkata was started in 1860. And our college, as it was mentioned, was started in 1944. There have been outstanding scholars among Jesuits. One of them was Father Robert de Nobili, a European and a Sanskrit scholar, of whom Max Muller used to say he could quote Manu even from the Puranas. Another Sanskrit scholar was Father Henry Roth. He lived from 1620 to 1668. He worked in Agra. Another father was Enrique Enrique. He lived in 17th century. He wrote Tamil grammar and dictionary. Another father, John Haxlenden, lived in 1736. He wrote Malayalam grammar and dictionary. This is how they have been. And here in this own college, we had Dr. Father Kamil Bulke, an outstanding personality in Hindu literature. He wrote, the thesis of his PhD was Ram Katha Utpatti and Vikas, or Vikas. And he was awarded Padma Bhushan by the President of India. And he was the head of the department of Hindi here in the 60s, where you have come here to study. What a praise and what a glorious history we have. And you also are in the footsteps of great Father Dr. Kamil Bulke. All over the world, we have universities, colleges, and technical institutions. And once a year, all these technical institutions, management institutes come together, and they have a international congress known as International Association of Jesuit Bee Schools. Similarly, other universities and colleges have formed a forum known as International Association of Jesuit Universities, to which St. Xavier's College is also affiliated. So, you are joining some international educational institution, and you have a long way to go. You are free to have your associations with any Jesuit university or college, because you belong to St. Xavier's College, Ranchi. The specific purpose of our education is that one ought to have excellence in education, no doubt about it. Along with it, one needs to also have excellent character along with having excellence in education. And then, these days, in the whole of the Society of Jesus, we are asked to promote these. Number one, that both faculty members and Jesuits should show the way to God through these spiritual exercises and tell how to discern the Spirit of God, to do things better and better and ever in a manner that was never done before. Similarly, having a special care of the poor and the marginalized, to empower them and to bring about human dignity among them. Thirdly, to accompany the young men and women today and to give them this conviction that they could be leaders of tomorrow if they have proper values in their life. And finally, we need to sustain the Mother Earth. We need to see that our Mother Earth keeps going and there is a symbiotic relationship between Mother Nature and us human beings. Now, we are extremely happy that you have joined St. Xavier's College. Even when you pass out, you are going to be connected to your alma mater through the Alumni Association. Please know that this college has already an alumni association. In the province, we have other institutions which have their alumni associations. So at the level of the province, we have consortium, so to say, of the alumni association. Similarly, in the whole of India, we have the Jesuit Alumni Association of India. We call it JAAI, and of which the presidents are not Jesuits, it's those who have passed out from our institutions. And in the whole world, there is World Union of Jesuit Alumni. So this is where we are, and even after they pass out, they get connected, they remain with us and want to give to the world what the world has given to them. Let this be also our ambition. Lucens et Ardens is the motto of this college, meaning lighting and shining. Let the light shine forth. I'm sure each one of us is a light, especially the students who have taken a mission. You are going to bring about brightness wherever there is darkness of ignorance and injustice, and this is what you are going to do. May God bless you and let your light keep shining. Lucens et Ardens. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you, Father. Father just speak about the